Urgency matters. How urgent it is for a client does matter. And even if they can find a better person who could get them there faster, it might take them longer to find that person and to build up trust with that person and to get to the point where they feel ready. There's a lot of competition for coaches in some way. Like maybe they could take 6 to 10 months to do a whole project about this, but a lot of the time what they need is that connection, that trust building, and that belief in your ability to take them on this journey. Your story can resonate with them. Your voice can resonate with them. Your approach, your tone. If you're struggling with money and it's hard to hear that, then I want you to think about having other sources of income before you only rely on coaching. Because sometimes if you rely on coaching, you get this pressure built up that you have to get this client. What's your origin story? What's something you've been through? What's a characteristic about you that people love and look up to? Coaches Nation, hello and welcome to another episode of the Coach's Journey podcast. I'm your host, Daniel Fernandez, and this podcast is all about how your coaching has no competition, which sounds really counterintuitive and wrong, right? Everything has competition, and that's true to some degree, but there's also a degree to which it's not true, and I want to talk a little bit about that distinction today. Yes, if somebody's teaching coaching, there's a lot of people they could go to. Of course there is. But, there's something that happened to me when I first started coaching that I wanted to share because I'm sure that many of the coaches who are in the early stages of coaching have had similar experiences. And, it's a little bit of imposter syndrome in this, but, imposter syndrome follows you throughout your coaching career, even as an advanced or experienced coach. You still feel that because you're living at that next level of growth for yourself. And so part of coaching is a growth journey. So I want everybody to know, whatever you're feeling now, that's part of your growth journey. So what I was feeling when I first started coaching, and I'm going to share the story, and then I'm going to share a little bit more about how you can think about coaching and competition in a way that actually helps you and your business and your clients. So when I first started coaching, I kept on thinking about one thing, like, oh, there's somebody else I know who can do a better job than me for this person in front of me. And it helped me back. Like, if you believe that, then it's hard to believe that your client should sign up with you, right? And so I was stuck in that for a long time. I got some clients in the meantime, but that subtle resistance that I had probably affected how long it took to sign up a client, how many people signed up with me, my confidence in what I was delivering. And of course, one of the solutions to that is experience, but that still doesn't solve the actual challenge that you face, knowing that there are other coaches out there who could do what you're doing. But I want you to think about outside of your coaching services. I want you to think from another perspective, not from the perspective of coaching, but from any other service that you might get. Let's say it's a dentist, okay? Or let's say it's a copywriter, or maybe let's say it's someone to work on your renovation in your house if you have one. So, like, for example, think about how you would go about finding this person. Are there not an infinite number of choices? Yeah, there are. There are an infinite number of choices. And some of those choices will be good for you, and some of them will not be good for you. But there's going to be some choices that are good for you that any of the above would work. And that doesn't mean that you're going to pick any of the above. You're going to pick someone that you want. And sometimes it takes a long time to figure out who you want to pick, right? So if you have to do something really urgently, like the other day, my toilet broke. And so I thought maybe I could fix it myself. This is actually a really good analogy now that I'm thinking about it. I thought I could fix it myself. And I just called my neighbor over and, we looked at it together. We took it off and we realized, like, oh, the flange is broken, which means that something actually more than my expertise and my neighbor's expertise was necessary. And so I had to go find some plumbers. So I started looking online for plumbers, and actually I found the plumber that came over, that was available that day and came over. What I needed was to get this done fast and to solve the problem. And I could have spent months and months looking for a plumber, but I wouldn't have had a toilet in the meantime. So I want you to remember, urgency matters. How urgent it is for a client does matter. And even if they can find a better person who could get them there faster, it might take them longer to find that person and to build up trust with that person and to get to the point where they feel ready. But you're here in front of them right now. So they're here in front of you right now. So there's a reason you've met, maybe. Maybe that reason is because you're meant to help each other. Maybe you're here to help them as a client, and they're here to help you with your business, right? In terms of signing up with your coaching. And so a lot of the time we look these gift horses in the mouth, or we don't have the gratitude for the client in front of us that has been put there, that is ready and willing to work with us because we hold ourselves back thinking, well, I might not be the right coach for them. Now, there's some truth to like sometimes you're not the right coach for them, but if you can help them, if they're making progress with you, just remember you're making a difference, right? And you can come to an agreement on all the program specifics, but don't discount who this client has in front of them too. So first of all, there's a lot of competition for coaches in some way. Like maybe they could take 6 to 10 months to do a whole project about this, but a lot of the time, what they need is that connection, that trust building, and that belief in your ability to take them on this journey. That's probably all they need in a lot of cases. And this happened to me recently. Like I had a client, a potential client, who met with me a couple of times, and they were like, "Well, I don't want to spend this kind of money unless I talk to my husband about it." And we came to realize that they needed a little time to work on that. But one of the things they told her husband in our next meeting, we found out, and they did sign up, by the way. They found out. I found out from them that they just trusted me and felt safe with me, and they wanted to move forward faster. And one of the things we talked about is like, what do they want to achieve in this program? And so we wrote those things down and we looked at them and they're like, yeah, I want to go forward. I want to do this now and I want to do this with you. Now, I can't guarantee that if they had waited a year, they wouldn't have found a coach who they could build that kind of relationship with. But I took the time to build that relationship. So the way to have no competition is to be the person in connection with them, to build that relationship with them, have them trust you, because that trust is going to be the foundation of your coaching relationship that helps them make the progress, right? And if you think about other coaches being better than you, also think about other coaches being not as effective for them. For every coach you can come up with who might be like even better than you, there's going to be coaches, a lot more coaches, more than likely, that are not going to be as good. And especially for this person in front of you that you're shifting. There's a reason you meet this person. There's a reason you connected with this person and that they are interested and want to talk to you, right? And so that brings me to the number one rule. It's not about you. It's about them. As long as you make it about them, you'll be able to build that trust and relationship, right? So that's part number one. Like build with them that connection and the relationship. And when you're in session or in conversation with them, serve them. Have them know deep down that you care deeply about them. And if you do care about them deeply down, that's going to be very authentic. So if you are the kind of coach who cares about other people, which I hope you are, because that's the kind of coaches we need in the field, not just the coaches who are in to make a buck and don't actually care about other people. The best coaches actually come from a deep internal authenticity about caring about this person, their vision, their goals. If that's natural for you, then remember, that makes you unique for this person in their life. So that's part one, I think, of the uniqueness, because that's what the solution to competition is. It's uniqueness, differentiating yourself. And a lot of the time, people will recognize and feel that differentiation from you. It can be a very emotional thing, right? Sure, there's probably some specific skills and expertise that you have. That's one way to differentiate yourself. But a big part, especially for early coaches, is building that connection and having them feel that unique connection with you. Now, if you have specific skill sets, that adds to the differentiation. If you have a specific niche or avatar or target clients or things that you do or a signature system, that all builds uniqueness and differentiation. You don't have to. You can build that uniqueness through that connection. But competition in some way can be considered like a myth for coaches, right? Because if you think about it, they're going to choose based on who resonates with them, not just your skills or credentials. And you're also going to be able to build a connection, and you're the only you in the market. You're the only one. Your story can resonate with them. Your voice can resonate with them. Your approach, your tone, all the things that you bring. I'm a very unique coach. I tend to talk a little bit faster. I tend to do a little bit of consulty type work with people. I tend to focus a little more on business, but also I really love working on their relationships and their personal life across the board and influence. And so there's lots of things that I do that I can bring to that coaching relationship, which makes it very, very unique. I don't know other coaches who do it exactly the way I do it. And nobody can do it exactly the way you do it, which is why your craft matters. Figure out your craft, get better. And if you want to be in a community that does help you get better faster, we do have in Coaching Mastery Community, we have the Coaching Clinic, which is a regular interactive coaching session where one coach coaches somebody in our community. One coach is the coach and one coach is the client. And then they coach each other or what they do coaching, and then the rest of us observe. And after that observation happens, they do their session, and then everybody shares um, their perspective on what was good, what needs improvement, what we can learn. And that has been really powerful. So that's another good way to keep your craft getting better and better and develop your own way of coaching because there's a billion different ways to coach. And even in those sessions, I'm learning things that maybe I like that, maybe I didn't like that, but that works for them and not for me. All these little subtleties of how to coach is going to be unique per person. So remember, that uniqueness comes from your craft too. And so always be building your craft. How are you developing your craft today? Do you have a community that's pushing you on? Do you have a community that's developing you? Do you have people in your life, other coaches? Um, and here's another thing you can think of in terms of competition. If you get to build a community of coaches around you, and Coaching Master Community is a great way to do that, you can refer clients to each other. Now, why would you refer a client if you need more clients? Well, sometimes a client is not the right fit. And that's another thing about competition. It's like if you're thinking that you just want all the clients and everybody and anybody, there's a mindset concern that I would have, which is not everybody's going to be a good fit for you. And if you're struggling with money and it's hard to hear that, then I want you to think about having other sources of income before you only rely on coaching. Because sometimes if you rely on coaching, you get this pressure built up that you have to get this client that's in front of you. And that kind of like poisons the relationship a bit because you're very attached to the outcome and the client is less free to feel unpressured in the relationship, which affects your relationship over time. So I just want you to know, like, if you need to do other sources of income to feel confident and comfortable in making offers that are non-pressure, that you don't have to be attached too much to, that can be really healthy. But getting back to the point of sharing with your collaboration network of coaches, if you have coaches around, you can refer coaches to each other. And I had a potential client in front of me this last few months that I went through a couple of conversations with, and I wanted to coach them, but I wasn't feeling like, heck yeah. I wasn't feeling that 8 or 9 out of 10 at least. And I wasn't really sure. And that was a sign to me that like I might not want to sign up for this. So we tried to come to an agreement on what it might look like. And the more I thought about it, the more I realized like I could not serve this person for a variety of factors. But I did refer them to another coach who I ahead of time got the buy-in to serve one of my clients. And they didn't sign up eventually, but I did offer that referral because that coach was a unique too. I thought they might be a better fit because of the personality of this client and the personality of the coach. I thought they could work together really well. And ultimately that client didn't sign up, which is fine. Nobody minds because the client's got to make their own decision. And maybe that was the right decision for them too. So part of this journey of being unique, though, is also finding your own unique voice. So you got to think about what are your strengths, what are your passions, what's unique about your experience and specifically your adversities. What adversity have you been through? Because adversity is what really changes what a coach is capable of. The more adversity you've had in life, the better almost for your clients because you've faced so many challenges you've had to grow through. And if you've gone that deep on some of these adversities, you're going to be able to take the clients that you have deeper as well. So what are those things? Have you taken the time to maybe catalog them and think about like, what does that bring to clients? And by the way, like just self-reflecting, I could do a better job of that. I have done a little bit of this, but I could do more. I need to sit down and just take the time. And honestly, just an hour could go a long way. And you can have something like ChatGPT help you back and forth as a conversation partner to try and extract some of these things. Like you could say to ChatGPT, like, help me figure out some of my strengths and some of the adversities that I faced and some of the passions and unique things about me that set me apart from other coaches in the industry. That's a great prompt. You can change the prompt, make it your own, but like it'll ask you questions and then you can answer some of those questions and put it together with your own, it's not going to give you the answers from your deep core by itself. You're going to have to share a little more and then it will give you like sort of little shifts in thinking that you might be like, oh yeah, that is really unique. And then something you can grab onto and then build that out yourself. So just right now, you could actually do this right now, really quick off the top of your head, really quick. Identify 3 things about yourself or experiences that maybe set you apart. What's your origin story? What's something you've been through? What's a characteristic about you that people love and look up to? Those are some things you just think about that right now. Give yourself a minute and just maybe pause this and just write it down or tell somebody. Express it out loud or in writing so that it comes out of your brain and into reality so you can like reflect on it more and clarify. So I just want you to remember, we talked a little bit about competition here today. I want you to take the frame of competition away and take the frame of you and your unique ability to connect with people, to bring specific, unique things to the coaching experience, and also to develop your own unique voice. And those are the things that clients will resonate with from within themselves. And don't forget, you can also bring your unique niche and avatar and focuses that you want to focus on and your unique signature system over time. You don't have to have that, but it really helps as you get more experienced. So there's so many different ways for you to do that. And one of the best activities you can do to develop the sense of uniqueness and reduce that fear of competition is just to think about those things that set you apart and take the time to journal on it, write on it, tell somebody, talk to somebody about it, even talk to ChatGPT and have it help you. But like basically, it's not impossible to separate yourself from the competition, even for beginning coaches. If you're a new coach, you've had probably a little bit of a career already. And if you haven't, you've had some interesting experiences. What is there? What have you been through? So that's the podcast for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you would like to hear another important podcast that we have, there's one on distractions because it's really easy to get distracted, and there'll be a link in the description. Don't get distracted as a coach. Keep your focus on your coaching and plan ahead to do these exercises. All right, with that, thank you for listening to the Coach's Journey podcast. If you want a community to help you develop your skill sets uniquely, develop your voice uniquely, and help you find those clients and build your own unique business that sets you apart from the competition, then join us at cmc.coach and come into Coaching Mastery Community, where we can help you build that business and get more clients and build that business that you can be proud of, that is unique. All right, thanks again. I'll see you next time.